Well, there's film action of a different kind in 15 minutes when Lenny Henry and John Shea are chased by both sides of the law, coast to coast.
In short, a thoroughly evil woman and a liar. Is that what you're telling the jury, Mrs. Stevenson?
No.
Thank you, Mrs. Stevenson. No further questions.
With the evidence stacked, the battle for control of Bentley's news agency continues in a brand new series of Strike It Rich, and the stakes are higher than ever.
Apparently, another Bentley shareholder has turned up out of the blue. They need a valuation.
Well, that's a bit of luck. I'll be up there the next shuttle, madam.
I understand the disabled gentleman.
Jim Boyd?
Yeah, he got married, didn't he?
That's right, yes, but he's still hanging on to his shares.
What's the position with the other small shareholders at the moment?
Mrs. Morgan went off to Corfu to live with her boyfriend.
She's sold out to the consortium anyway.
What about that odd little criminal?
Kelly? Oh, he's just done a spell inside for nicking a car. But he's hanging on to his shares.
I'm surprised he wasn't tempted to sell.
Only because he thinks everyone's out to do him.
Rich pickings for one and all when the right opportunity comes knocking.
Ain't you going to show me in? No.
On Too Shortly, the Blue Moon Detective Agency will be quite happy to solve your problems just as soon as they've solved their own, while moonlighting. Here on One now, the news with Debbie Thrower.
The biggest teachers' union rejects tougher industrial action, but a new campaign is planned for next term. 2 people are wounded as gunmen fire machine guns at a British Army jeep in Cyprus. The people of Argentina celebrate the survival of democracy. And the crippled boy Pauline Cutting wants brought to Britain for treatment. The largest teachers' union, the NUT, has rejected a call to step up industrial action in protest at government plans for education. The demand for a tougher approach came from some delegates at their conference in Eastbourne. They accused the leadership of giving in to the Education Secretary, Kenneth Baker, over the imposition of a pay settlement and the removal of negotiating rights. But details were made public of joint moves that the NUT are planning with the second biggest union, the NASUWT. In guidelines revealed today, both unions say they won't go beyond agreed limits on the number of hours and days they work each year. And individual teachers will be told not to accept new duties. At the conference, those NUT delegates who wanted much stronger measures were defeated.
NUT leaders repeatedly reminded their members that the government had always used disunity amongst teachers to justify its legislation. Today's was a debate always turbulent, sometimes angry, and it was argued the NUT's recent unity with the other large union, the schoolmasters and women teachers, would be put at risk by a commitment to escalate strike action.
It will destroy the unity of our work with another union. It will destroy the unity within this union. And there are a lot of you out there who know it.
It is not about disunity. We want unity. We want unity of action with the NASUWT, not unity in meetings.
In a ballot, the leadership got its way, though not before newly published union guidelines on teachers' duties were condemned by some delegates as giving in to the government. Next term, many teachers will be operating what amounts to a work to rule. And of course, they could be doing so during a general election campaign. Reference to that brought the biggest applause of the day.
This government deserves no support from the teachers of this country.
Meanwhile, 120 miles away at the opening of the Schoolmasters and Women Teachers Conference in Bournemouth, delegates were to be warned teacher was being set against teacher by the government. Here too, the search for unity amongst teachers will be the urgent objective.
A British Army Land Rover in Cyprus has been raked with automatic gunfire by masked gunmen. The driver, who's a corporal, and a teenage girl passenger were both hit. Neither of them is seriously injured. The incident happened as the Land Rover was being driven from one British base at Decalia along the main road to another at Akrotiri. It came under fire from automatic weapons from another car near the village of Moni. The police say there's no immediate indication of who staged the attack. From Cyprus, Chris Drake reports.
The British bases are constantly on high alert, a security precaution they were forced to take following Britain's permission to allow US fighter planes to use its airfields to attack Libya almost exactly a year ago. And precisely because of concern over a possible attack on the anniversary of the raids on Libya, the British servicemen had been warned to take extra precautions. But while that's possible on the heavily guarded bases, it's a different story on Cyprus's public roads. And it was on a main highway which links the two sovereign base areas that the gunman had apparently lain in wait for a British military vehicle. The gunman left few clues, and judging by the number of bullets which actually missed the Land Rover, there are doubts as to how professional they are. The threat of further attacks